Hello viewers, Craig here from the Total Miner Dev team. This is a video about the basics of our circuitry in the 2.0 update. So here I've just pasted a workshop from our System Trial Island component pack. Now what we know from 1.8 is if you put a pressure plate next to a door and you stand on the plate, the door opens. What's actually happening there is the pressure plate is a power emitting block. So when you stand on it and it's pressed, it starts to emit power to the adjacent blocks around it. If I prospect that door, you can see here a little icon which indicates it's receiving power. I step off the door, off the plate, and prospect the door, and the icon's gone, so it's no longer receiving power. So when I step on the plate, the door receives power, and it changes its state from open to closed, or from closed to open, depending on what state it was on before it started to receive power. So it's not a case of if it's receiving power it's open, and if it's not receiving power it's closed. It's just it's a case of it just changes its state from one or the other. So for example, I can stand on the plate, and the door will close, get off the plate and it opens. That's not particularly useful, but it can still you can still do that if you want to. Now in 2.0 we have two more blocks which work the same way as the plate. We have a button and a switch. So if you hit the switch, it starts to emit power to the surrounding blocks. The door receives that power and changes its state. Hit the switch again, it stops emitting power and the door changes state. So you can see on the face of the switch it changes. So when you hit the switch, the handle goes down and the green indicates that the switch is on and it's delivering power. And you hit the switch again, the handle goes back up and the red indicates no power. The button, you hit the button and you don't have to turn it off. It automatically turns off after 2 seconds or something like that, and the animation is different. So you hit the button, it pops in and then pops out again when it's released. So that's the three main power emitting blocks. Pretty simple stuff. Now this would be called a local circuit because all these blocks are only affect the local blocks around them. They don't work over a distance. Now to show you how to make a circuit over a distance, what we'll do is you come into the building here, and what we want to do is want to have a switch here to turn the lights on, and then turn the lights off when we exit the building again. So I'll make it nighttime so it's easier to see. Now we can't use the sun boxes because they always shine. They're not controlled by power, so we'll just get rid of those. So it's dark. To make circuits over distance we need a transmitter block, a receiver block, and in this case here we'll use a powered light. So a powered light does not shine unless it only shines if it's receiving power. So you can see it's still dark in here, it's not receiving any power. Now to make it receive power from a switch here, if we didn't have the distance stuff, we'd have to put a switch on each one like that. And we come into the building and hit each switch manually, but that's obviously not very useful. So we'll get rid of those. So to do what we want to do, we need to use a transmitter block. I'll put a transmitter block there, put the switch on the transmitter block, and we need to put a receiver block there, receiver block there, So we walk into the building, we hit the switch, and we want the lights to come on. Now, when you first place the transmitter, the frequency is disabled. So these blocks are frequency based. So when you hit the switch, it emits power to the surrounding blocks. You can see the transmitter block's powered. And when the transmitter block when it's first powered, and it has a frequency set to it, like it's not disabled, then it will send a signal to a radius around itself, about 64 blocks I think it is. It'll send a power on signal, and any receiver block that is for the same frequency will pick up that signal and start to deliver power to its adjacent blocks. So we come into the building, hit the switch, and the lights come on. Simple as that. Leave the building, hit the switch, the lights go off. Now these blocks stick out. They have a fairly graphic texture. You might not want that like that. You might want to be able to hide them away. So what you can do is change the texture on them. Change that one to wood. Change that to iron. So you can effectively hide the circuitry mechanisms so they can't be seen. They blend into the build there. They still work, they're still the same blocks. So that's a basic circuit over a distance circuit. And I'll show you one more circuit which is a bit more sophisticated. So it'd be quite nice if we can come into the building, put the lights on, and then actually exit the building from another place, another door, and hit a switch to turn the lights off. So to do that, we will put a transmitter block here. We'll set it to a different frequency. Put a switch there. The receiver blocks can receive a signal from two different frequencies. Set that to 11. Set that to 11. So now if either one of these switches is hit, the lights will come on or turn off. That still doesn't do what we want to do, because if both of these switches are on, the receivers are still receiving the signal, so they will still emit power, so it doesn't do what we want. So what we do want is, so each receiver, you can apply a logic gate to the two signals, and in this case we want to use an Xor Logic Gate. So what that means is if it's receiving a signal from both transmitters, it will actually stop delivering power. So we walk into the building, hit the switch, power's come on, and then exit the building, the lights go off. Then we can come in from here as well, lights go on, and exit here, lights go off. And if we want to, we can then come back in here. It doesn't matter which one we come in from or go out of. So that's it really, that's all I'm going to show. I'll just show another couple of blocks which work with power. Oops. C4 if C4 becomes powered, it detonates. Trapdoor opens, closes. Sentry turret you can put on here requires power, so what that does is it will only shoot if it's currently receiving power from a power emitting block. Mob spawn, same thing, if you put that on it will only spawn the mobs if it's receiving power. Ambient sound block, same thing, if that's on it will only play the sounds if it's receiving power. Script block has two things here. You can set it to run a script when it first receives a power on signal or when it's first powered on, and again another script it'll execute when its power goes off. So for example you could use that for, say, when it becomes powered it opens up an entrance to a hidden area, and when it becomes unpowered it then closes off that entrance, so you can use that to do puzzles and stuff. So that's it. I'll do another video soon on the script block and how you can actually set that up and use that. Okay, see ya.